Welcome to Championship Soccer Stadium in Irvine, California, home to Orange County Soccer Club. OCSC unable to host fans in the stadium tonight due to local health regulations. Thanks to everyone tuning in from the safety of your home this evening. We hope you enjoy the match, which is presented by Hoag Hospital. We've got Orange County taking on LA Galaxy 2 with Devin Kerr, Mike Watts. There they are, 2 and 3 in Group B.
Here we go. Here we go. This is what everybody's been looking forward to in this midweek matchup. Los Dos, an opportunity to continue to apply pressure to not only Phoenix Rising, 2 games in hand, Orange County sitting right there. People sleeping on Los Dos. Orange County reeling after back-to-back disappointments for Blaine Cloutier.
Tonight's player to watch, brought to you by Hoag. Not 1, 2.
It's got to be these 2 boys moving forward. And, you know, their lack of production on the offensive side of the ball. Chandler Hoffman trying to get healthy. Ine Voltson still back in his home country at Denmark. You've got to find a way to lead. It's got to be the distributor out of the midfield. And then Ugo Akoli up top. Provide him more opportunities. Get that ball out in front of him. He will make the opposition pay.
What a line. When he scores, OCSC wins. It's a literal fact. Augustine Williams lighting it up lately.
Kid's flying right now, and you know he primarily plays in the 9, but he's so comfortable in his surroundings. Mike drifts down onto the side, allows other people to develop around him. His unselfishness is probably one of the understated values of him as a player. Great with his head on a swivel. He will give this team an opportunity to lead in the final third. And when you take a look at what they've done this year, people sleeping on him. I'm telling you, this team can get it done. For my money, they are the best team right now in that number 2 spot. I'm saying right now, because in back-to-back games, they are on the road against Orange County. Understand, Orange County right for the picking. A 3-1 letdown against Las Vegas Lights, 0-0 draw against San Diego. It will be fresh in their mind, that 2-1 loss to Orange County back on August 22nd. Let's go.
Let's go indeed. In Southern California, there are brewing tempers between these sides. We have Orange County, LA Galaxy 2. Lineups kickoff coming right up.
With SDCCU mobile banking, you can manage, deposit, pay. It's like having a branch at your fingertips 24/7. Check balances, view account history, deposit checks, pay bills, and more. All from the convenience of your smartphone, at home or on the go. San Diego County Credit Union. It's not big bank banking, it's better.
Coronavirus is the opponent no team prepared for this season. As COVID-19 spreads around the world, the possibility of athletes playing in empty stadiums like these is growing.
Welcome, everybody. Ready to roll here nearing kickoff. Championship Soccer Stadium in Irvine, California. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. They're brought to you by Kimco Staffing. As Orange County SC making very few changes. Seth Kasipli is back. Hammy Palmer sits. A few changes to the 18.
It's a quality balance for Braden Cloutier's boys moving forward now. So many injuries. deal with a lot of concerns. Of course, Eni Volton's still not there, but there is talent. Darwin Jones finally healthy. Good balance with Brian Olowski on the right-hand side. The back line, it's a pleasant surprise. Loved the relationship I've seen out of Orozco and Rob Kiernan. And, of course, quality goalkeeping. Finlayson and Kevin Olsen are going to have their hands full with all the attacking prowess coming out of Junior Gonzalez's squad. He's made a few more changes than I thought he might. I thought they've been playing well recently. He's going to get 3 changes. Jalen Neal will come onto the back line next to Jesus Vasquez, Jorge Hernandez, and Adam Saldana. That'll be the pairing with Jonathan Perez just in front. He's been quality. Back from the bubble, he was involved in the Orlando MLS's back tournament. They've transitioned him over. Augustine Williams, the point man, he will step into the 9th spot with Gutierrez and Vera. This team has been running downhill in their last couple games, Mike, getting 5 and 6 players into the attacking roles at times. It's going to be a fun back and forth.
Kasipli's return means a significant change. The Hogue injury report, Orange County thanks Hogue Hospital and all their incredible healthcare heroes. Hogue is the official healthcare provider and jersey sponsor for Orange County SC. Recently voted best hospital by the U.S. News and World Report. A lot of cutouts out in the stands taking this in. No fans tonight. Boy, you wish there were. LA Galaxy 2 away to Orange County twice in 4 days. It starts tonight, a battle for second place in Group B. Oh, Devin, we've been so excited for this matchup the last few days.
I'm ready for it. Group B, everything that's gone on here. And you take a look at, the recent results. Of course, the draw on the weekend for San Diego and Orange County. Right away, they'll get an opportunity from the corner. Phoenix Rising going down to Reno. And, of course, Vegas dropping to Los Dos. Los Dos, the only one that's got positive points in that manner.
Yoloski, the former Los Dos player. That's a poor service. Skied back up. Romero punches that away with some venom. Vera. Ontiveros, who came with Junior Gonzalez from RGV. They found him in an ID camp, a tryout at Rio Grande Valley. Said, fell into our laps. Attack down the side. Gutierrez crossing, header in! Jonathan Perez! LA Galaxy 2 score less than 100 ticks in.
They gave him a homegrown contract for a reason, Mike, and this is exactly why. Said keep an eye. The attacking midfielder. Phenomenal in the build-up here, and just check out the rotation. Jorge Hernandez, good little 1-2 down in the corner. Explosion of speed. Gutierrez sticks this up and puts it where only one player can get to it. On an absolute dish. Behind the back line of Kiernan. Perez in the bottom corner. Puts his boys out in front early.
Total stunner here. You've got Kiernan and Orozco and Du in that back line, your center backs and your goalkeeper. There may not be a better combination of 3 in the entire USL Championship. No one had a chance to get to that picture-perfect ball from Gutierrez.
Here's the best part, Mike, to go along with that. You're doing the scouting report here. Nowhere does it mention this ball is going to drop to 5'5" Jonathan Perez inside the box between the tin towers of Kieran and Orozco. That gives you an idea of how good the distribution was coming from the corner.
A U.S. youth international before he was a Mexican youth international. He's now with the Mexican under-18s and played in Copa del Atlantico. Begin 2020. Ball ahead here. Maybe something for Kasipli. Offside flag is up. This won't count from Ugo Okoli. What a start we're off to. Fans, if Orange County converts a penalty in tonight's match, you're going to win a free chicken sandwich, courtesy of Chick-fil-A at Woodbury Town Center. Follow OCSC on social media for full details. You and I had a Chick-fil-A a couple days ago.
Not you and I.
I had one.
Yeah,
you watched.
Yeah, supposedly mine miraculously wandered away in somebody else's hands. I did enjoy a nice lemonade, though.
That is some cold stuff from our production team. Ball bounces past Williams, who moves back into the starting 11. sitting on 6 goals this year. Perez back for Ontiveros. Alston battling. And this will unleash Ontiveros into the corner. Throw Galaxy 2. It's cleared away as far as Okoli. Galaxy 2 coming off a, frankly, thrilling 4-3 game away, rather against Las Vegas. As we take a look at the keys to the game, presented by Easy Fleet GPS, increased productivity and profitability with Easy Fleet GPS.
What really took me in our conversation with Junior Gonzalez was his admiration for his squad and their build-up play, and saying that it's all about us. We have to be able to dictate the tempo. That's why it's not you, it's me. Make sure that you're doing everything possible within your capability to make the other team chase. Well, I'm pretty sure that's already happened inside 5 minutes for Los Dos. They're at 1-0. Orange County, don't sing the blues. We already gave you an idea of, okay, in the recent fixtures, the 0-0 draw against San Diego Loyal. There was the 3-1 loss to Las Vegas. You've got players that were injured, guys still overseas. You're getting them back. Don't look to the past and drop your head with the results and everything that's gone on. Look to the future, because you're still right there in one of those top 2 spots in Group B.
Floated ahead. Turned away by Finlayson. Karen Cayado is the referee for this affair. First of 2 between these sides over the upcoming 4 days. We spoke with Braden Cloutier in the lead up to this game, Devin, and we asked whether these 2 games could really solidify yourself in a good position, maybe even challenge Phoenix, perhaps. Kasipli turning after a lengthy layoff, a little bit of pep in his step. Braden Cloutier instantly shot that down, said week to week you play so many in the group, it can all change so fast. Okoli able to get that to the opposite side, out of the reach of Darwin Jones.
It's also different for each team, and for my mind, I tend to gravitate more towards the yes for Los Dos, because you go back-to-back against Orange County. Now, still a lot of work to be done after that, Mike, but if you can find a way, if they get 6 points out of this in the next 2 games, forget it. I'm pushing them into a top 2 spot. The reason I say that is you then turn and you go San Diego, Las Vegas, San Diego, Vegas. 4 games that they've already proven they're capable of winning. Now, actually getting it done is another story. On Orange County, on the other side of things, their ask is a bit different. On the road, back-to-back games, Sacramento Republic. We already saw their issues with San Diego Loyal. They still have Phoenix again. So similar opponents for sure, but the route very different.
Over Williams into the wide area. It's Gutierrez. Play by Kiernan. Cuevas. It's a throw here for Orange County. Coming into this game, what really excited me about it, and speaking with the coaches, LA Galaxy 2 sometimes feels teams will really sit in against them a little bit. Just the way they feel they need to play. That's how Orange County felt they needed to play against San Diego. Braden Cloutier told us he expects this game to push a higher line, allows LA Galaxy 2 to work on all that building through pressure that excites them in training, and allows Orange County to try and push the tempo of this match more.
He wanted that, though, to be fair. Braden Cloutier felt like, you know, they finally have their horses back. Everybody's healthy. Seth Kasipli, one of those names. Of course, Darwin Jones was back last match, but hasn't been around that much. Finally, the opportunity to get this extremely talented team that has been assembled. And Oliver did such a good job, not just in the offseason, but everything they've done the past couple of years. Of course, the partnership with Rangers FC in Scotland. It's a big talking point for everyone.
Because the players they got out of that partnership have been so impactful.
And one of them sitting at right back right now, number 15, the youngster, Danny Finlayson. Of course, Rob Kiernan, though, no longer with Glasgow Rangers, still a boatload of experience there. Former U.S. men's national team player, of course, and Roscoe on that back line too. Plenty of talent here. And just recently, they're trying to squeak out results, and you know, outside of the last two, they'd pretty much done that. Weathered the storm. Now they can get at it.
Finlayson. Darwin Jones starting to come back into his own after he tweaked his hamstring. Looked really positive just over 60 minutes. Last time out for Orange County. That 0-0 draw against San Diego where he tattooed the crossbar from a tight angle. Orozco not afraid to take that space. Kasipli. Nathan Smith, who's missed some time of late, is in the 18, a former Galaxy 2 player as well. There are a bunch of connections, including Cloutier himself, between Orange County and LA Galaxy. 10 minutes in, opening goal. Well-directed header by Jonathan Perez, his second professional goal. Quinn. Kasipli allows Jones. Kasipli again. Bounces into Okugo, or rather Okoli. That heads in another game.
Just a couple days away from that matchup.
That's right. Well, they'll bring play back here. Wave in favor of Orange County. This is not a bad place for a free kick.
You've got the luxury of both feet as well. Seth Kasipli on the right. Of course, Aiden Quinn with the masterclass left foot. The distance, I mean, you're right around 28 meters or so, looking like. 10 outside the 18. And this is something special from distance. That wall looks well beyond 10 yards. I mean, you can move this up a little bit to create separation in the wall as well. Little touch stop hit. Don't be surprised if you see that. You're going to get pressure coming here from Perez. He recognizes it. Whether it's a touch stop hit or just a roll, and then Quinn has a go. Expect this to move before you have a strike.
Aiden Quinn did have the USL Championships goal of the year in 2015. It's Quinn this time. Big rebound off Romero and out for a corner.
Exactly what they ordered. You just move it outside of the wall, give him a better look. It's the separation we talked about. And this wall, again, much further than 10 yards away. Good roll. Check this thing dipping at the end. Little English, easy pickings for Romero.
Corner, Orange County. Lofted up. Quinn, Iloski trying to pull through. Good recovery. It's like Jalen Neal, the young center back, who stepped in at the vital moment. Look at that earlier free kick.
Well, I mean, you can't understand how difficult this is unless you've been in his shoes. That dip at the end is so troublesome, Mike. It's a different look on the left footer as well. And you know, Aiden Quinn, the way it's set up, we saw it was coming the entire time.
Perez lacing this through Dew, way off his line. Trouble maybe brewing here. Well grabbed, Dew comes in, sticks his foot in, eventually takes Perez off the ball. And Dew launches this downfield.
Oh, it's a shocking start on the right side for Orange County, and Rob Kiernan having loads of trouble with Perez. Check this out. Overruns it. Very crafty by the midfielder. Doesn't have the same advantage that Kiernan does in terms of size and stature. Uses that to his best little look. Drift back over that right shoulder, cut it back across. Well read by the goalkeeper, though. 15 minutes in, Mike. Junior Gonzalez got to feel really good about the start. Right, sure he'd like to see this calm just a bit, and not necessarily in terms of slowing down the rate of play, just standing on the ball a bit more. They don't mind seceding possession. They are allowing Orange County to battle back into this. Some good rotation. Really interesting to see what's going on this left-hand side. Kasipli tucking in, a more advanced role from Kevin Alston. Actually rotating Michael Orozco out over there, and even times Aiden Quinn dropping extremely deep onto the back. And it's nothing new for him to be deep in the middle, but when he pulls out of the interior, opens up a lot of space for Los Dos interior in the middle in their build-up play.
They're over 100 games now for Galaxy 2. This could be struck, and Perez trying to launch into a shot. Caught Kiernan. I think Junior Gonzalez doesn't get nearly enough credit for what he's done as a coach in this league. That ball looked like it was earmarked for Okoli. Step in from Crisostomo, couldn't take the ball back. Alston. Quinn. Sipley regains of Ontiveros, and now Galaxy 2 roll this back toward Alston. Junior Gonzalez was the coach at UC Riverside for quite a while. Moves out of the collegiate game, goes to RGV in 2017. Solid results there. Comes in midway through last year at Galaxy 2 as the head coach. Leads them to the postseason, getting results any way he could. Coaches around the league have a lot of respect for him. Ball sent into the penalty area.
I remember prior to him receiving the interim tag, coming in after the departure of Mike Munoz, he was involved with Los Angeles Galaxy, one of the assistants on the sideline helping them out. Just a bit of chasing right now for Orange County. Look at them willing to go side to side. And this young man, Omar Ontiveros, he gave us a brief glimpse into his background prior of how he was discovered, or so what he's capable of, Mike. Whether at RGV or here at Los Angeles Galaxy 2. Center back, outside back, they moved him into the midfield in one of those 6 or 8 spots. Doesn't matter. He's willing to put in the work wherever asked of him. Nice little spell of possession for Los Dos, but check out the pressure coming from Aiden Quinn. Don't let it play. That's when you want to see let the boys play a little bit.
In case you haven't noticed, you can now get your very own OCSC fan cutout to be placed in the stadium, then autographed by the team for you to keep at the end of the season. Head over to orangecountysoccer.com/know before you watch for more information on how you can get yours for the remainder of the season. We're in the crowd tonight, Dev.
Rumor has it you took a little beating.
I sure did.
I'm sure the ground crew took care of you.
I would hope so. Alston run over.
Little R&R.
I think I'm sitting with my good buddy Barry, President Barack Obama. I was sitting with Tim Howard over the weekend.
Pretty sure I spent most of my time in the what they've come to know as the shed. It's It's more like the timeout chair from what I remember in my youth days. We're just going to move Devin over here.
The offside flag is up.
The difference is now is the room they put me in, it was dark. The lights were off. Every time I yelled, nobody responded. I made my way out, just trying to figure out exactly where I've decided to sit.
Going to be a former USL A-League MVP joining me on the weekend. He's going to be in the bleachers as well, so that'll be fun.
Like that.
Long ball for Augie Williams. Got beyond him. Rep your county. Get your gear today. New OCSC merchandise now available on orangecountysoccer.com/shop and in store at our new merchandise retail partner, Soccer Garage, off the 5 freeway in Orange County. It's Kevin Alston. Trying to combine there, coming from an offside position, Okoli. News coming across today that the MVP finalist from 2018, we mentioned him previously, Thomasini Voldsen, signed a multi-year deal with the club coming into the year. His wife gave birth back in Denmark, and with the situation in the country at present, they felt best to allow him to stay home with his wife and the baby, loaned out to Hobro IK in Denmark. And news was reported in the Danish papers a couple days ago, but wish him and his family all the best the rest of the season. Hope to see him back in 2021. Kasipli, nice ball. Ilaski, Jones. Jones dances and fires. Got over the outstretched heel of Kasipli.
There's just too many steps here, Mike, for Orange County right now. Kasipli had the back post run at Darwin Jones, but instead plays the little 6-yard bar into Brian Ilaski. You know, put your instep on it, hit it hard on the ground, put it out in front of your outside midfielder, one touch, and he can have a go-on goal. You know, there's tiers to this thing, and right now they're just struggling to go from 1, 2, and 3. Even bypassing 2 is an option. That space in the middle, really difficult. It's just being closed down pretty rapidly from Los Dos.
Alston, heavy deflection. Kasipli. Look at this battle. Won by Williams, and he turns around and wonders why the whistle there.
No, they're definitely not letting them play at all. And as a player, you got to understand it is going to be a bit strict. We saw the one in the middle with Aiden Quinn, and now on that far side, Rob Kiernan again. He's got his hands full on the back line.
It's interesting, Devin, for you as a former center back, you play so many games in a short amount of time, some with refs you know really well, some who've been around the block a little bit less. The extent to which they have not allowed play to continue today, a very stern contrast to what we saw for Orange County over the weekend.
And the biggest issue you run into in that situation, Mike, is mentally toning yourself down in certain areas, or, you know, allowing it to ramp up. Nights like tonight, at least the way it's gone in the opening 23 minutes, not be able to get away with a lot as a defender, you gotta, you know, peel back a little bit. Understand that the pressure that maybe you're applying on the backside of one of the attackers, you start to check in, you can't get away with that little bump on the ball. You know, the little nudge on the hip, the forearm to the shoulder. Things that, to be fair, a lot of referees will let go. Same thing with Augustine Williams when you're stepping down in. It's not a bad foul at all. Referee obviously not going to have any of it, though. But you understand that the precedent's been set, so all you have to say is your head, okay, here's where I can, you know, step in a little bit more, but I got to step off over here. You're the only one that can control that at this point in time. You will see as games go on, sometimes head referee will let that progress. Again, it's just a bit too early to tell.
Quinn. Settled by Neal. Pushed ahead by Saldana. Olsen. Kasipli. Head on a swivel, plays it low. Have to turn. Ugo scores! And we're level in the 25th minute. Fourth of the year for the 2016 MVP, Sean Okoli. And this game in the early going living up to the billing.
It was all about rotation, going from 1 to 2 to 3. They finally get into the final third. And once you get to the byline, Mike, watch as this space opens up. This is a great ball in by Kevin Alston. Beautiful touch by Kasipli, but watch as he knocks this across. Way too much time here for a talented Ugo Okoli. Look at this sea just part. White jerseys all over the place. Saldana's there. Hernandez involved as well. You cannot allow someone like Ugo Okoli to have that much time on the half turn, and just like that, you're back to evens.
We told you previously, when he scores, Orange County wins. Will that continue here tonight? That goal was brought to you by Hogue. Comes in the 25th minute, puts a square at one apiece between two teams on level points. It's the first tiebreaker team wins that separates these two sides at present in Group B.
To be fair, Mike, it has been coming. And the finished product, we hadn't really seen anything of it from Orange County, but the buildup was starting to get there, and they hit that 40-yard mark. It was, okay, what are we supposed to do? There wasn't a lot of rotation. Brian Olowski seems to be kind of a lost cause right now, and I don't mean that from a negative standpoint. It's just the way that the system is set up. Kasipli's tucking in a lot. Darwin Jones is trying to push further on that right flank. And with Okoli up top, they're expecting him to drop down into the pocket, but he's going to the right side as well, which means they have a lack of presence in the midfield. When he is dropping in, it's too crowded. So they're trying to find a way to connect all the dots. He's just lost in translation.
Perez, who scored first for Galaxy 2, leading Gutierrez, who had the assist. It's Perez again. Crossing for Williams. Never got there. And it was delayed for sure from Ugo Okoli. Couple of steps, wasn't maybe closed down appropriately, or maybe there just wasn't enough space there to be able to cover it all. But Braden Cloutier told us he wants his team to be more ruthless, to really take advantage of opportunities. He felt that had been lacking in recent games, that bite that you look for.
Who better to fulfill that role than Ugo Okoli? Happy to anytime.
Why you brought him in. Gutierrez was waiting for that on Taveros. Throw to come for Omar Ontiveros, who, to be fair, himself was a former Santos Laguna under-20 player. Attention OCSC fans, take a photo during the match repping your OCSC gear. Use the hashtag #FanOfTheMatch, the hashtag UHSM on any social platform. A chance to win Fan of the Match award on social media and a free OCSC fan pack courtesy of UHSM. Kasipli has been turning on the Jets, rolling out of midfield. This time they choose Okoli, who waits for Darwin Jones to join into the attack.
It's a little bit of what I was talking about, though, Mike. I'm much happier with that ball down into space. Darwin Jones is the recipient, or Brian Olowski has rotated back over. He comes in centrally, and now Okoli's on the ball. I don't want him spraying the ball to everybody else. I want him in the box. Such a great ball striker. He's great in the air as well. And you got to find a way to put the ball out in front of him. Instead, when he's dropping onto it, now he's become the facilitator for Orange County. That's not the better look for them.
Alston. Look at this turn, and the ball's going to hold up well for Ugo Okoli. Ugo delivers. And that run from Olowski. Williams able to tap this over to Perez. And they've chosen this as the right time to go to a hydration break. 1-1 here between Orange County and LA Galaxy 2. And this has been really an enjoyable start, I think, for fans. Galaxy 2 scores in the second minute. Nice little interchange here on the outside sets it up.
Really, the opening 10 is what this team is all about. Good rotation. They primarily stick to, what they're best at, Mike. They'll drop into this 4-2-3-1. You rotate to a double pivot at times. But the over-rotation on the outsides, get your playmakers the ball. Drop it into Gutierrez. Perez on the end of it. 2 minutes out, 1-0. The response took a bit of time, didn't it? Better portion of 20-plus minutes. Finally, Okoli. Still got a question. Why not only is there not multiple players from Los Dos stepping up here, but how is there not a challenge? Saldana was the one that was closest in proximity, but Jorge Hernandez there as well. You always say as a defender, you never want to leave your feet, but with the quality back four that were sitting behind you, someone's got to get a tackle stuck in.
71-degree night in Orange County. Beautiful weather for OCSC and LA Galaxy 2. Temperatures are going to spike to almost 100 over the weekend when these teams see each other again. As Perez grabbing his second career goal and Okoli adding to a lengthy set of tallies in his career. Dev, what's the biggest challenge for these coaches when you play each other back-to-back like this, even in the same venue?
You can't be predictable. That's the main issue here. And, having the luxury of running into this instance multiple times this year, Mike, I've had coaches flat out tell me, guys that, we have great relationships with, I'm not going to give you everything we're going to do because I'm going to see them. And I know that you guys are going to talk about it. And, you can figure it out for yourself. But at the same point in time, they're going to pull the strings in different areas. Right now, Los Dos pretty predictable. Everything starting from the back, they're moving right up through the middle, trying to go outside and then whip balls back in. They haven't really gone the direct route. There was moments ago with Jonathan Perez who played that ball on the near touchline, just sprayed it out of bounds, had Augustine Williams knock this 20-yard ball over the top. We haven't seen that a lot yet. Conversely, for Orange County, Aiden Quinn's dropping really deep. We talked about Seth Kasipley and the rotation you've seen there. Come the weekend, you'll see similar characters for sure. And the cast is 100% going to be represented, but what do the Starlets look like? The names might appear a bit different in terms of where the rotation comes from. And, Kevin Alston playing a higher line, not necessarily the normal, but it's very different than what you're seeing out of Danny Finlayson on the right side. You've also got a really talented Mauricio Cuevas playing left back for Los Dos, so they're keeping an eye on that. Because as we've seen, they really haven't gone after that far side right now. Darwin Jones, look at the speed that he has. Think about how many times you see balls down into the channel for him. Haven't seen that at all.
Chris Ostemo knocked it wide, and a throw here for Orange County. Quite a bit. You think about the weapons that are returning. Jones, Coleman returns. Chandler Hoffman is on the bench tonight, gives you a different look up front.
And this is something that, if you're just checking the box score, right? And just looking at the scoreboard in general, not even going to the box score to see who played, you might look back and go, wow, they drew San Diego 0-0. They lost to Las Vegas. There's the 1-0 win over Vegas. They only beat Los Dos 2-1. They're scraping by wins, but so many impactful players that aren't available for selection that are finally coming back. And what a time to do it, right? I mean, you're basically on the second half of your season in this 16-game, 13-week condensed schedule that we're getting in, group play. And yeah, you'll see him multiple times, but now you've got a few more weapons at your disposal, Mike, so you can rotate players here and there. Pretty much they're going to give you a, I'm not going to use the word predictable again. You're going to get a similar look in terms of what the formation will look like for Orange County. But they're one of the better ones in the West about switching things up.
Lasky, nice header away. Jones challenges, goes down. Challenge from Mauricio Cuevas leads to a free kick. The U.S. Youth International makes his 9th start this year.
This is a mistake for sure. There's no reason to drop a foul here. Ball's moving away. And you have support. Now you've got a bigger problem. And check out Aiden Quinn, who's going to step over this one with his magical left foot. Opportunity to go with the talented Abraham Romero, who you hear nothing but the highest appraiser, Junior Gonzalez. Of course, you can keep it on the left foot, and just a quick little redirect. Even if you go to goal here, you can still throw bodies right around the penalty mark. Just to leave B on the far post. Quick little deflection off the head. I would still like to see something direct from Aiden Quinn, though.
It is Aiden Quinn, went right into the wall. Floated forward. Trying to pull that back into the field of play and couldn't. Late afternoon is turned to dusk and even sunset. Kasipli. Coley, that was a clean challenge. Jorge Hernandez maintained the possession.
That's the third time, by the way, Mike, I'm hearing from the coaching staff from Los Dos. They're asking, and they're saying Augie Hire, Augustine Williams, isn't providing enough of an outlet.
Ball slashed across the face of goal, nobody home.
When they are trying to spray these balls out, it's easy to think, okay, let's knock a 25, 30-yard ball, but when you can stretch this back line, you're also resetting the defensive shape after your team has absorbed so much pressure. So you get compacted in, knock a 40 or 50-yard ball instead. Either he holds up, good chasing play down in the corner, but it allows you to compress the field as well. Make Orange County challenge themselves a little bit here. They've been sitting back a lot ever since the 10-minute mark. You get your opening goal, and there's a quality run of play. They've really been chasing.
Crisostomo. Quinn. And Lasky hops back to Crisostomo. Got it wide. Darwin Jones skips out for a corner. And here we go again. Ball across, wide open header, back across the face of goal, and hammered home. It's Okoli again. Orange County's turned this on its head. They have focused on restarts over the past few weeks, and they've been burnt.
And this is easy for me in the broadcast booth, Mike. The minute this ball starts to rotate the back, my hands are wide up in the air. I mean, I think this is in by Orozco. Unselfish, putting it back across into the mixer, because look at all the room he has. Romero feels like he gets tripped. But when you're drifting back across, there's just too many bodies to deal with. Send this into the danger area and let your big guy up top go get it. For his first time in an Orange County jersey, he backs himself a brace.
Goal presented by Hogue. Okoli in the 25th and the 38th. Ran all the way down, and able to knock this away. So often it can be men against boys when you've got a young team going up against, Kiernan, 29. Alston, 32, is often a guy who's available on that second ball in. Okoli's been around the block. And then you've got a guy like Orozco, who's a full international, top quality center back with all that size. You wonder how a guy like that can be entirely unmarked.
There's just terrible defensive shape on the back post. And regardless of how tall you are, where the mismatch is, it wasn't marked at all. Like, not one single player willing to challenge here. Realistically, good enough touch, you bring that down, take it yourself. Of course, that's not a great option, but that's literally how much time there was.
Galaxy 2, having scored in the first 5 minutes for a second straight game, is Cuevas against Las Vegas Lights, who tallied early on. They never trailed in that 4-3. Call it back and forth, but really it was just a series of equalizers and goals to tighten things up by Las Vegas. They never took control of the game. Orange County has turned this thing around. Fans OCSC misses having you in the stadium this year, but hopes to see you back in person in 2021. Refundable season ticket deposits now on sale for the 2021 season at orangecountysoccer.com/tickets. Reserve your seat today.
You attend a match, Mike, you have a preferred area you like to sit? You like to be up high, low, centrally, behind the goal?
High and center.
High and center?
Yeah.
Fair enough. I'm more of a rough and tumble type guy behind the goal with the supporters groups.
Just can't keep up anymore. Yeah. I actually have to sit. How sad is that? I'm like a decade younger than you, and I'm going, you whippersnappers.
You're still going, though. You're still going.
Referee looks over to the AR. This is onside at first, and a very delayed offside flag. Free kick here for Orange County deep in their own half. Alston. Clever idea. Get Kasipli. Kasipli off the spin on Ontiveros, sends this toward the penalty spot. An attempt to get a natural hat trick for Hugo Okoli in this first half. We are in the 43rd minute. Perez scored in the second. I mentioned all the connections between Orange County and Galaxy, and Perez has been around the Galaxy since he was a boy. But the player actually ID'd for the first time as a 9-year-old by Braden Cloutier when he was on staff with the Galaxy. There's a lot of full circle stories on this Galaxy 2 roster that Braden Cloutier was sort of the first line of Galaxy coaches that ID'd them as a potential future player in the organization.
He takes great pride in knowing that they're continuing to stoke everything that's gone on there in terms of talent, even though he's not involved on the staff anymore. Really cool to see that all come back around, Mike. And tell you what, 5 minutes into this game, he's probably going on the sideline. Oh, man.
I knew it.
That kid again. Come over here, sit next to me. And they rewarded him with a homegrown contract for Los Angeles Galaxy in February for a reason. With the organization now, I think they picked him up at age 12, correct? Like officially?
Well, they saw him at 9 and then came in 2016, so we're talking 12, 13 years old. We started officially playing in the Galaxy
See here, hang on.
youth system.
Carry the one. Yeah, my math's right too. I'm with you.
Perez, one of those interesting players that has had to make a decision between the U.S. youth national team and the Mexican youth national team in recent years.
Still not there yet. I mean, you know, going back and forth, as you mentioned, 16s for the U.S., 18s for Mexico, but until you make your senior debut, you're not tied down to a single country.
Ontiveros delivers. Oh, this will skip all the way through. Gutierrez. Oh, again, another error, and this time Dew able to smother this. Adrian Veta got the shot away. He signed way back when in 2015 with Bennett Snedden. He was an academy player in 2015. He was the player who had to come in the USL final when Clement Diop got injured.
It's a poor touch by Crisostomo. Aiden Quinn knows it as well. They get lucky, to be fair here, Mike. Right for the picking outside the top of the 18. It's a good save, though, Frederick Dew. Had him set himself up so appropriately. An easy save in the end for him, but it's all because of his positioning that got him there.
This will be a corner here for Orange County, and if you're Galaxy, your antennas just went up because of how poorly the last went. 3 additional minutes of stoppage time in this first half.
Let's see if they run the same stunt they did the first time. Stacked right around the penalty mark. There was the rotation by Orozco all the way to the back post.
There goes Orozco, but this is a bit short.
No fans allowed. I do sense a bit of extracurriculars outside the stadium.
Yeah, they've got
some of the County Line Coalition going.
Got those iron gates around the venue, and oftentimes will sneak their way into view. Yeah, you're talking the 10th year of Orange County SC, and they've gone through so many different iterations of what this league was going to look like. In the early years, they were the lone tentpole out on the West Coast for the USL, then USL Pro, and then USL, and then now the USL Championship. James Keston has come in, brought along some really top-notch management from the front office into the coaching staff, and they've put money into players, and their academy is starting to develop. What Galaxy has been to MLS, you could very easily argue Orange County without all the success, but that organization that's been there day in and day out and a focal point of the league on the West Coast now for a decade. Orange County's been the #1 seed a couple of times out in the Western Conference, 2015, 2018.
Yeah, that 18 season is the one that got away, right?
And it was staggering how it went down as well. 2015, it ended up being Galaxy 2 that went to Rochester in that final and went all the way into extra time. It was a magnificent final. The 2018 stings, I think, a little bit more.
You know, they were the team in the Western Conference. 17 was the Monarchs, 18 was Orange County.
Open season on 1 seeds. It's Cuevas putting this in play for Galaxy 2. We close in on the end of first half stoppage time. Vara, Williams. There's the halftime whistle. What a roller coaster this has been.
A little different for Los Angeles Galaxy 2 than what we saw in the opening 10 minutes, Mike. They just got to pick up the pace here. That was a really good look. Continue forth. Augustine Williams plays the ball back across, and he's got no support at all. This has turned into a very itemized depiction of what they're trying to do instead of a collective effort. Orange County SC, on the other hand, they're getting better and better as this game goes on. This is nowhere near over as it's starting to open up here at halftime.
Our Pro Sport halftime is coming up. Devin will dish. Take a look back at our 3 goals. Perez, and then it started for Orange County. Ugo Okoli grabs a brace in the first half. Highlights, stats, a look around the league when we return to Irvine.
Opportunity and a goal! A beautiful goal by Orange County.
Gets the ball here, cuts inside.
Goal! Orange County!
And a goal!
Explore the Southwest lifestyle, the culture, the music, the food, y más. Join hosts J.R. Cardenas and Vanessa Ramirez for a Southwest adventure on Subida. Travel the state, enjoy the food, discover new artists, and fun things to do. Every week, JR and Vanessa share their discoveries with you.
Watch Subida Sunday and Monday night only on YourView and YourView.com.
Glad to have you back with us here as Orange County SC thanks its physical therapy partner, Pro Sport, for their support in keeping the players healthy and in shape this season. The masked hot air balloon remains overhead here in Irvine as our Pro Sport halftime begins with Orange County ahead of LA Galaxy 2 goals to 1. There's so much to keep track of in a league with 35 teams. That's why we just have Devin dish it up.
Here we go, the dish, August 29, 2020. The Western Conference Wonders, rebranded at SD Tulsa, go against the boys in blue, Sporting Kansas City 2. And as my main man Mike Watts likes to say about Sporting Kansas City 2, they're just hanging around. Montpremier in the 29th minute from Dylan Cerna. How about this ball floated to the back post? Not a bad finish. What was that? Let's just give it to Ariel Martinez as if he needs anything else. Copy, Rod, you're better than that. You know you're better than that. But Wilson Harris does 2 things. He shows up and he scores goals. Everybody likes to talk about FC Tulsa and what they were capable of doing. Unbeaten. First of all, they were 2-0-4, so you only had 2 victories. And you haven't won a game since August 8th. You're better than that, and you should be. Sporting Kansas City 2, I'll tell you what, they're not making it easy in Group B. Reno 1868, Phoenix Rising FC. This was the marquee matchup on the weekend. The 1 in A, the 1 in B. There was only one. It was Corey Herzog to Foster Langsdorff in the 62nd minute, 1-0. So there's 3 1s there. 3 1s don't make a right. Dadashov just a couple minutes later. Check this firing. Bottom corner strike. All right, so he gets him even. Phoenix Rising did not play well. Going into halftime, you got to shut down 2 players. I told you. Langsdorff and Herzog. You don't do either. You lose 2-1. Corey, he goes top bins as well. Reno 1868 has to feel really good about the fact that, you know what, they couldn't get anyone to get sacked twice, even though they played better. Played better than Phoenix. Got a result. Mauricio Cuevas, 3 goals. None from the run of play. All set pieces. I mean, the kid's a set piece specialist, and he can't even buy a beer. Can barely vote. I mean, what is going on in the water out in LA? It's everybody's second favorite team as a 2 team in Los Angeles. That's a joke because they're the only team in Los Angeles. Guys, people, you got to stay with me here. They're bagging goals left and right, though. Cuevas in the 5th. Augustine Williams, 3 goals and an assist in his last 2 games. Gutierrez in the 62nd. Jorge Hernandez in the 74th. Las Vegas Lights, yeah, you'd score in the 14th minute, but it was 4-1. And Johnny Fennick in the 73rd. 4-3 final. I mean, that's it. That's all she wrote. That's all I got here. We can transition. Let's go to the next game. OKC Energy FC hosting Austin Bold. Okay, Energy FC, this is an elimination game. Bottom line, you have to get 3 points. Austin Bold, be bolder. Go with like a thick Sharpie or something. Or just give the ball to Billy Forbes because he just can't seem to miss. Another goal for Billy Forbes, 14th minute near post. How he gets this on his left foot, I will never know, but he only has 1 foot. Give it to his left and he scores every single time. Take it. Jaime Chavez. By the way, he's offside here. 1-1. There was controversy in this game, let me tell you. Billy Forbes bagged himself a brace. Was half a side onside, but they called him half a side offside. They don't get 3. They go back-to-back against FC Tulsa for supremacy in the Western Conference. See ya.
The United Soccer League and its 47th championship in League One clubs stand united in support of diversity, inclusivity, equality, and compassion. Together, we can make a difference. Together, we can create change. Together, we are united against racism.
Lapa flicks it up for Brett. It's an outstanding combination and a winning combination at that.
Now out wide to Aiden Daniels. Daniels one-on-one, steps away from the jam, curls and scores!
6 bodies in the box to aim at. Flipped and saved by Parker.
There's a chance now, opportunity, finds the back of the net. Stavros Zarakostas.
Our first McDivitt corner kick of the second half, and there's another save from Abe Rodriguez. What about this show from the goalkeeper?
Into the box it goes. It's Ortiz on the half volley, and Charlotte take the lead.
We'll step into it, over the bar, and he scored! Great shot by Cuevas as he sent it over the wall.
The United Soccer League and its 47th championship in League One clubs stand united in support of diversity, inclusivity, equality, and compassion. Together, we can make a difference. Together, we can create change. Together, we are united against racism.
Opportunity and a goal! A beautiful goal by Orange County.
Gets the ball here, cuts inside.
Goal! Orange County!
And a goal!
Welcome back, everybody, to the Pro Sport Halftime. Orange County 2, LA Galaxy 2-1. With Devin Kerr, Mike Watts on hand, let's take a look at news and notes from around the USL Championship. They're brought to you by Chick-fil-A Woodbury Town Center. And the Golden Boot race is just beginning to heat up. Wilson Harris is up to 20 career goals, younger than any other player to reach that plateau, and San Antonio still unbeaten. Where do you want to go here?
I want to go with the Golden Boot race because not only does Junior Flemings have 10, Phoenix Rising have 2, nay, 3 in the top 4 with Rufat Dadashov at 7, Salman Asante at 6. That's going to be a fun run-in as Phoenix Rising struggled against Reno 1868. That front 3 doesn't get going. They don't necessarily have a lot on the backside of it, but I think that a lot more goals are to come, both in the East and the West.
Let's take a look at the out-of-town scores, brought to you by Destination Irvine, the center of Orange County. Pittsburgh smacked Loudoun. It looks like they're going to end up topping their group at this rate. Tulsa needed that win desperately.
That was a big one. I mentioned they hadn't won a game since August 8th. Started 2-0-4. And just result after result getting pushed aside. Miami FC, 5 points, -11 goal differential through 8 games. Mathematically not eliminated, but much like Atlanta United earlier tonight, they have to get a result on the weekend to keep themselves into it. That's a massive story coming out of the East.
And Lights and Loyal are ongoing on ESPN+. That's scoreless. I think fans of this game would like to see a nice scoreless drop. Here's your upcoming schedule. It's brought to you by Destination Irvine, the center of Orange County.
Lipa FC. Say it once for me, Mike. Say the whole thing.
The Louisville-Indianapolis Proximity Association football contest.
Love it. How about Austin Bold and FC Tulsa, by the way, and what they're going to do? This group still haven't been able to figure it out. Not sure we ever will. Group D, San Antonio doing their thing, but Bold and Tulsa back-to-back against each other. But FC Tulsa got a bit of momentum. Austin Bold unbeaten in 5, only 1 win. That's what you saw at FC Tulsa earlier, but they just beat RGV.
And with Ryan Thompson at the helm, will he be at the helm again for that game? Time will tell. It's halftime here. Orange County grabbing the last 2 goals, take a 2-1 lead. Highlights when we come back.
At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, there is no one better at getting you back to you.
Join Erica Cardenas on Doing More as she introduces you to ordinary people working side by side to make a positive impact in their community.
Hi, I'm Erica Cardenas. Join me on the next Doing More, the Celebrate Foundation that is enriching children's lives with strength, hope, and joy.
Doing More, Sunday and Monday night on Your View. Brought to you by Casa de Amparo, supporting those affected by child abuse and neglect through programs and services that promote healing, growth, and healthy relationships.
Welcome back to the Pro Sport halftime. Orange County ahead of LA Galaxy 2 goals to 1 as we look at our halftime highlights brought to you by Hoag. True conversation, I think this was about a decade ago, said, hey, this Perez kid's going to be really good for Galaxy. That's Braden Cloutier. He scored against the guy who found him for Galaxy.
Watch him spin this right round, though, Mike. Great ball to the top of the 6. Jonathan Perez, bottom corner. Again, a bit confusing at 5'5", but sneaks himself in between the 2 talented center backs of Orange County. They were off and running.
Skip ahead to the 12th minute. This is a bit of a knuckleball coming in there off the restart.
The key question was it going to be a touch stop hit? Were you just going to let him go out and hit it? And look at this thing. Moving actually back across the left shoulder. Good English on the ball. Not enough. And the question was going to be, could you find a way to get Okoli involved? He scores. They win. That's looking good so far. 25th minute. Great ball by Gasipli, but too much time here from Los Dos. Look at all the respect given. 1, 2, 3, 4 defenders that could have drifted over. Nobody gets stuck in. They get it back to ones.
Braden Cloutier wanted to see some killer instinct. It showed there in the 25th. It happened again in the 38th. Watch Orozco wide open, send that to the back post. Leap for it, Ugo.
Something that they set up as well, and there's just so many bodies around the penalty mark. Nobody catches him. There's got to be a drift here. If you want to play zone, that's fine. But these guys were actually man marking. You just missed the mark. And there's the conversation by Romero. Saldana just in. He said, boys, I can't do everything. I need a little bit of help. That possession started to creep back up towards the end of the first half. But Orange County, far and away, the better team so far.
Halftime stats brought to you by Pro Sport. And Orange County, in a hole 80 seconds in, have recovered. There's an applause now, as has been the case around the USL Championship at the end of halftime by those in attendance for the healthcare heroes who remain on the front line of the COVID-19 pandemic. Watch started, whistle blown, underway, second half. Can Galaxy 2 regain their momentum in a battle between two teams level on points in Group B? The top two teams get in. These are numbers 2 and 3 behind Phoenix. Saw a lot out of Kasipli in that first half. Great return into the squad. Chrysostomou. Jones. Back heel return. Jones goes down. Free kick, Orange County.
Almost sets himself up on this one and leans into it. Knew exactly what was coming, Darwin Jones. Sometimes you have to be willing to take a hit like that, and see this switch up a little bit. We've seen Aiden Quinn on the left with Branilovsky as well. I want this ball on the right foot of Kasipli. Change it up here, unless Abraham Ramiro is going to give you a good look at the near post, and just his body positioning, only two men in the wall. Looks shifted to the right as well. You could go direct here.
It is Kasipli, and this header skies over. This will be a corner. And look at the frustration on Finlayson's face. Hands to his head.
It's a good look. How well is this ball whipped in, though? Low with enough pace, still swerving away. And there is the deflection. Feels like got the better of him. Should have put it on frame.
Corner to come for Iloski. Went to UCLA, spent time overseas, and returns to his hometown and his home county. Iloski delivers, high arcing ball. Romero got a piece of that. Arguments both ways. In the end, another corner for Orange County. Kasipli was already over there. He can take this quickly. Orange County did score off a set piece, and Kasipli's moving the boards back. It's a big field, but they're making it just a little bit bigger for the approach. Kasipli, header steered off frame. Each of these teams have just crossed the midway point of the season, both on 8 games. There's a foul here from Cuevas.
A couple shouts on the pitch, and I was just going to say that's going to be the last one for Mauricio Cuevas, as he's gotten stuck in quite a few times in this match in general, yet alone in that matchup with Darwin Jones. Referee just slow things down here, remind him, I got my eye on you. Oops.
Ben Pels.
I'm not really sure they're ready for that kind of commitment, Mike, to be honest. It's a prospering relationship for sure, but it's a lot to ask. I was never bored as a kid, as you can figure it out.
No, because you were writing to 37 people you named while you were playing. Are pen pals during recovery, or is that for life? Chrysostomou, totally unimpeded. Now he'll turn this around, and a good recovery led by Vera. It's Vasquez who cut him down. Orozco. Foul, free kick. Farah this time getting a talking to. More than that, he'll get a yellow.
Chasing a lot here at the start of the second half. Galaxy 2 is. First Mauricio Cuevas on the back, and now Adam Saldana. There's the appearance of Brian Olofsky. Still think he's really yet to fully see himself into this match, Mike.
Yellow card, by the way, brought to you by Easy Fleet GPS. Increase productivity and profitability with Easy Fleet GPS. Service whipped across, won't reach Jones, comes out to Finlayson, Quinn. Jones reestablishing that wide space. Both teams have played 8 games. It's that 5th win for Galaxy 2 that puts them in 2nd in Group B. In past years, Braden Cloutier has said 10 games is about the point where I can really get a pulse on this team. And they'll reach that mark against Galaxy when they meet again over the weekend in what is going to be a very different set of circumstances. Temps in the upper 90s that afternoon. And you and I were trying to figure out where Braden Cloutier's head was going to go. You've got guys like Orozco and Kiernan who've played a lot of minutes. Is it better to have, bird in the hand or 2 in the bush? Who do you want to put out on Wednesday knowing you got to go again in 4 days?
I mentioned to you that I would rather have the first victory, go secure 3 points, and you do have we'll say the trump card in the back pocket that they're at home both times. And if you're on the road, it might be a different story where, okay, boys, I'm going to need you 180 minutes in the span of, 3.5 days? That's not the case here, though.
Oh, Kasipli. Even if you were on the road, you're talking hour or 2 up the road into Carson.
It's still different than your normal routine, though, than being at home. Meals, everything, even a quick bus ride. You just sort of wonder if we were kind of looking at who has been back there and some of the rotation. Kobe Henry, the youngster, signed on June 18th. Braden Cloutier compares him to Eddie Pope-style player. Now you're going back. I don't mind that reference.
Nope.
You can lose 1. You can't lose both, though. Uh-oh.
Chance here for Perez to cut this back across. This nicked a pure off the post with Gutierrez chasing. Cuevas. Galaxy 2 starting to apply some pressure here. Duel will come out and pick it up.
You got to be kidding me that this ball doesn't end up in the back of the net, Mike. I mean, how does this thing, even with the English on it, not end up tickling the nylon? There's Perez again. Goal in the 2nd minute. Been a bit silent since. Lovely bit of craftsmanship on the far side. Just trying to sneak it inside the post.
Here they come again. Hernandez fouled. Has to be a card. It is. And Crisostomo, who lucked out big time last time out in not picking up a yellow on a professional foul and then getting one later. And naturally, cards change how you play, but Crisostomo gets one here.
Watch out, by the way, as it's a good step from Hernandez coming out of the middle. We've talked about Perez a lot. Enter Mauricio Cuevas. 3 goals on the year, all 3 from set piece opportunities, a specialist in his own right. Most recently against Las Vegas Lights, masterful right foot. Almost from this exact same spot, Mike. Picked out the near post, upper corner. Frederick Du's gonna have done his homework. And just watch this from distance. Can he get enough power, but also be able to get it down? He's cheating to the near post. Oh, this could be a quick little set piece on the backside. Look it on the left. All the way behind on the far post.
There it is. Vasquez heads it back along. And the flag was up. Oh, you read that from a long way out.
You could see the way that they were lined up. Just snuck one all the way to the back post. You gotta be better though in terms of execution. Space opens up. And I question it. You know, 10 minutes into the second half, it's not a bad idea because everybody's expecting a shot. At the same point in time, you're lacking momentum. And as good as Cuevas is from the set piece opportunities, why not let him have a go? It's like taking the ball out of, you know, your number 9 who's one-on-one in front of goal, and you want him to lay it off. Of course, if it ends up in the back of the net, it's magical, and we don't question it at all.
Quinn able to outfox Hernandez, who springs this downfield. Gutierrez, who had a picture-perfect assist in the first half, taking off the ball cleanly. Quinn trying to pull the strings. Well, the referee said all ball. Injured player certainly thinks otherwise. It looked like that cleat, when it was coming through the challenge on Vada, may have elevated a little bit on this turf.
Oh, this is a little bit more than elevated. Brian Olowski 100% going for it, but
former teammates.
Yeah, I mean, that's a high boot the entire way.
Of course, there's no card thinking back because the referee believed that was the ball in the first place. I would guess that the two coaching staffs' discussion continues. Cloutier is asking questions of the fourth official. Veda's back to his feet. That's what it's like at a family reunion, isn't it? A lot of frustrated Orange County players right now. Hand extended, Finlayson kicked the ball into Gutierrez. That's gonna earn him a yellow. And the referee is gonna have to take control. Early on, you felt they didn't allow them to play at all, and now you need to make sure you keep it all in the box.
It's getting out of hand, but if you're gonna set an example, this is one. Denny Finlayson knows exactly what he does wrong here. Now there's the challenge there, the elbow's enough, but watch the ball. Yeah, he knows what he's doing. Right in front of the referee as well, trust me. Pick and choose your moments if you want to try and sneak one by. That's not one of them. And they're still having a little chatter.
John back and forth. Kids and parents, have you heard about the new Junior Supporters Club for kids 12 and under? Sign up for free today. Download the Kids Activity Workbook along with other special offers. OrangeCountySoccer.com/junior supporters. With Ryan Davis over the past weekend, he filled out the whole book. He's proud of him. The whole workbook. Here's the attack for LA Galaxy 2. This is threatening. There's your service. Ooh, directed wide. Augie Williams, who scored 6 and has a chance to pull into third place in the Golden Boot race, just taps that wide.
You want to talk build-up and rotation from Los Dos. This is exactly what you want off the training ground. Little step out of the middle, flick down into the corner, and then you go with pace. Overlapping run outside back on Taveros. Puts it right where he's supposed to, right on the penalty mark. Multiple option, Gutierrez, Augustine Williams, all trying to lay claim. Just a bit outside that near post.
Look at this run, powering through midfield. Long run for Darwin Jones. He goes flying. Two Galaxy players are both making their case. It's Cuevas and the captain, Jesus Vasquez. Vasquez, the former Tigres player. It'll be a set piece for Brian Olowski. Game that's turned a little bit nasty over the past few minutes. Olowski toward the back post. Throw for Kevin Alston. Good win high up the field momentarily for Cuevas. Finlayson, some experience in the UEFA Youth League. First loan outside of Glasgow Rangers. Excellent, excellent from Okoli. Jones deflects down. Okoli goes running right toward the goal mouth. Goal kick. And Orange County is going to go to the bench. Substitutions are brought to you by MedEquip, turning setbacks into comebacks. Darwin Jones and Seth Kasipli come off. Kasipli probably more impactful in that first half, but really impressive over the course of this game.
Darwin Jones on the other side of things, Mike, looks like a guy who needs game fitness. 61 minutes against San Diego. He grabbed 63 here against Los Dos. Never really found his way into it. Kind of hiding on that right wing, and some quality rotation for this team for sure. But you know, some of the balls that have been knocked diagonally down, you expected him to be on the end of it. No explosion of speed. And that'll come with time. Got to ease him back into it, and another good opportunity here for Cami Palmer. Goal lead, 25 plus to go. Just help see this thing out. Kevin Coleman's got to open things up for them, though. They need another one here. You know, this team under Junior Gonzalez can strike too fast. I think Coutier will not feel comfortable on that one goal lead.
You see the available substitutes going forward. 3 windows left for Galaxy 2, obviously. 2 for Orange County. Apologies a moment ago. Kasipli remains on. It was Crisostomo came off.
That change makes more sense.
Yeah. Some numbers at the table being Maybe a bit difficult to read, who knows?
Well, what's interesting about Crisostomo and his performance tonight, Mike, and just kind of chatting back and forth, it makes sense, and I say that because he hasn't been bad, been consistent on the ball, but he's not really offering much. You know, it's kind of this side-to-side meandering around in the middle of the park, and they're going to need more, especially when Aiden Quinn is dropping deep and trying to distribute. You got to find a way to stretch it. Hemi Palmer can fill that.
Service right at Romero. Gutierrez
challenge. Wow.
Well done by Palmer. That's one iota of what he brings to the table.
I still like the comment coming out of Braden. I can't share the whole thing, unfortunately, but just talked about Hemi Palmer. We'll just say he was getting acclimated to the California sun. Skin a bit different than what it shows up with across the pond. We'll leave it at that. Had a good laugh with him, and you know, out of all due respect for the conversation, but very talented individual. You know, you and I saw him in that first game against El Paso, and you know, a young one he's getting opportunities here in the Ohlone, Partick Thistle, but he captained the Rangers reserves last season. He doesn't lack for confidence. Seems like every single time he steps on the pitch, something else being asked of him, more responsibility. He's getting there.
Cammy's favorite time of day, night.
Yeah.
I understand it. Gutierrez's number was on that board. Dime of an assist back in the second minute of play. Nava comes on. Substitution brought to you by MedEquip, turning setbacks into comebacks. And Alejandro Alvarado Jr. as well. Alvarado.
Really is impressive how technical Los Angeles Galaxy 2 is. Extremely gifted on the ball. Impressive footwork. And you can see the ideas, right? Sometimes the gears just aren't, you know, churning fast enough. Other times they're going too quick and their bodies can't keep up with it. Just gotta get your mind and thoughts and body all in perfect synchronicity. Saw that opening 10 minutes. From there, they've been chasing ever since. There's still only one down. A lot of time left. Got to feel good about that at least. But that, another giveaway coming off the back line. Jalen Neal. You got to question some of these decisions. There's no reason to play that either. It's a 30, 25, 30-yard ball on the ground with your instep. Midfield, it's risky. And that's something that only comes with experience, Mike, where if you're gonna make a mistake, it's gotta be calculated, especially as a defender. You wanna knock a 5-yard ball in front of you, that's fine. If there's pressure, instead of knocking that, drift it upfield. You know, find the outlet pass centrally located. You're seeing some growing pains. Full exhibition for you tonight.
I think good on the referee here to avoid a card in that moment and try and settle things down. Palmer had just recently come into the game.
When he had that challenge, beautifully taken moments ago, right in front of us on this near touchline, and you know, referee just reminding him, calm down, look at me. I would have had some sort of smart comeback in that situation.
And Devin's in the book.
Perfect.
Loaded all the way down, there's Dew. Fans, if you download the new OCSC app, now available in the App Store and Google Play, stay up to date with the latest news and special offers. Orange County SC. Devin and I are more the Google Play type. Make us green texters, is that right?
Absolutely. Loud and proud.
We're in the 70th minute now. Galaxy 2 scored in the second. Orange County responded with 2 from Okollie in the first half. Williams goes down, everybody screaming one way or the other. It's a clean play. Coleman was wiggling in and out, and Cammie Palmer had been fouled. Junior Gonzalez looks on. One would imagine he'll be looking at the replay of that just as soon as he gets off the field.
They're just mixing it up in the box with Augustine Williams on that far side, Mike. Frederick Duke coming off his line, and check out the space. Asked more of this. Let's get a look. Tell you what, a little forearm shiver on the back of Augustine Williams. Chasing. It's enough contact for me for it to be a penalty. He also understands that the pressure is coming. If they point to the spot, I have no problem with it at all.
Junior Gonzalez is shown a yellow.
And it's funny too, because everything that we saw to Darwin Jones kind of leaning into challenges, everything went his way, decision-wise, from the referee. But Augustine Williams, does he go down soft? Probably. Is there pressure? Absolutely. Is it a forearm behind the shoulder? That's the key question mark here on the back. 100% it is. So it's kind of one of those ones that, you know, if you're going to let him play, let him play. But it's been so topsy-turvy that the way the game is at, almost expected a whistle there.
Iloski sends it outside again. Service whipped across. And ushered through with a bit of an olé from the defender. Romero. Threaded the needle.
That's class. How composed is this? Little pressure from Okoli. 15 yards just outside the 18. Bring it right down the middle.
And we talked about the three phases that Galaxy preach. That build-up phase, phase one, midfield, and attacking third, phase three. And that is, in terms of starting positions, I would imagine exactly what Junior Gonzalez wanted.
Yeah, he nailed it. Spot on. Good separation, and notice that not only is it good positional movement by Los Dos, you've also spread Orange County pretty thin, right? Because they're applying pressure, you spread them up, it opens it, and just like that, you've gone 7 passes in 80 yards. They don't get the finished product out of it, but not a bad build-up whatsoever.
Good chance that's decent teaching film, and Alston goes down, grabbing for his left leg. There's going to be another yellow card issued. This belongs to Jorge Hernandez. The 2017 Galaxy Academy Player of the Year, following Anvetta and Zubac and Jaime Villarreal's stead.
He's hunting it. It's not necessarily the little hip check. The problem is he steps on him just after Kevin Alston.
Yellow card is brought to you by Easy Fleet GPS. Increase productivity and profitability with Easy Fleet GPS. It's Kiernan, and now Finlayson. There's a wave of white shirts. Orange County's trying to play through. Coleman pushed back again. Decent movement of the ball around Galaxy 2's pressure here in the 74th. Romero. Galaxy and a Pachuca youth. U.S. and Mexican Youth International. Chance to get service in. That ricochets straight back from Perez. Service comes back. Can Orange County get on the move here? We're nearing a hydration break. Floated into space. Coleman Coley making the central run. Chandler Hoffman is up and moving, the former MLS Cup champion with LA Galaxy. And the referee signals for a hydration break. At this point, who do you think benefits from this?
The hydration break? Orange County, 100%. And they're starting to chase a little bit here and some tired legs. Now, you've added Kevin Coleman, Cameron Palmer. And seeing Chandler Hoffman, I actually thought this change was going to come earlier, to be honest. I would imagine it's for Brian Olowski. I haven't really liked the movement we've seen out of him tonight. Again, I think he's a great player and can add a lot to what this team should look like going forward. The problem is he's just asked to play a different role and doesn't fit in just right. Would have been great out on the wing tonight, to be honest. Thought maybe they might have played him on the right. Let Jones go up top, but you know, they're chasing here, and you can feel the passion from Los Dos. They don't care that they haven't put out their best effort so far. 14 minutes to go, they're right in this thing, and they're willing to push the pace to go after it.
2-1 in front of an empty venue tonight. Orange County ahead of Galaxy 2. They'll play twice in 4 days. You know, Devin, as always, we're there. You know, there was a little bit of a dent in my cutout that we noticed.
Breathe right strip?
Yeah, Ray Ferrari is the VP of sales. He reached out and said, hey, I put some Band-Aids on there for you. You were looking like you had taken maybe a couple of clearances to the face.
Hey, yo, Mike. hey, Rock. You look like you took a couple of shots across the noggin there, buddy.
You know,
I bobbed and you should have weaved.
I always look like that. That's what I am.
Who's your cut guy?
My what?
Your cut guy. You know? Got to relieve the pressure. Cut me, Mick. I got a good cut guy. Best cut guy in the game.
Who's that?
His name will be established later on.
Okay. Well, mine's Eric Falero.
Okay.
Yep. He's our go-to cut guy.
I'll go with Jonathan Telliger.
Manny Simone's the referee?
Yeah, I don't know about the cut guy. You know, he's the victory cigar.
What's Steffi doing?
She's the manager.
Okay.
We'll bring her in. She's in charge.
We've got Corey, Brad, Sean, Ryan, and our Rush Media crew running the cameras tonight. Hoffman comes on for Olowski. Sub brought to you by MedEquip, turning setbacks into comebacks, and that's exactly what Chandler Hoffman hopes for. Seth Kasipley is actually out this time. Nathan Smith returns.
Here's what I want to see on that left-hand side is they've used Kevin Alston in the midfield recently. Are they going to keep him on the back line or push things up here?
Nice ball to spring forward. Perez lost his footing. Down goes Vasquez. Quinn muscling in there. Saldaña able to circumnavigate that out. Battling through this. Homer got ahead and Hoffman turned it over.
That's got to be behind Jalen Neal. He had stepped off that back line. He had Okoli out in space as well.
There's Dew.
Twice in the span of about 45 seconds, they've been able to find the feet of Chandler Hoffman, get him going early. What an addition that would be if they could start to light him up.
Total game changer. Chandler Hoffman, one of the USL Championship's all-time goal scorers, 63 coming into this year. This is fourth appearance for Orange County. And let's be honest, he got injured in Birmingham. He tore his ACL, so he's coming off of that. But it just wasn't right for him in Birmingham. It was his hometown, so much expectation. He wasn't played in a comfortable, familiar position.
That's it right there. Yeah. That's the major issue. It was easy to see that you know, he wasn't comfortable, the style of play, and everything that organization directionally was headed in, you know, was opposite of what Chandler Hoffman was looking for. You know, you could get that by just watching the run of play. It wasn't that hard to figure out, but you know, he fits into this system for sure. Yeah. This is an easier one for him to just seamlessly transition into compared to his experience in past.
We spoke to him on your Three Honest Lads podcast, and part of that conversation is, what do you still have left to fight for at this stage? You've been in so many places and had so much success at this level. He goes, I want the cup.
Yeah.
I've worked this hard. He got an MLS Cup with the Galaxy in his early years. He was a first-round pick of Philadelphia, and then came out to Galaxy. Time in Houston, he was loaned to Colorado Springs, then Louisville, Salt Lake City, Birmingham, now Orange County, and he wants to be a winner again.
I did take an interesting point out of there that, you know, he talked about the disappointment. I'm going to get to the cup in a second, but he talked about the disappointment of how quickly he started in years past, and that he didn't hit the 20-goal mark. That was something, you know, he was really surprised in as well, but it all came down to the cup. You know, regardless of what his personal ambitions are, all he really cares about as a team is succeeding. And, you know, he's willing to put in the work, given the opportunity. He's got one.
Especially with Ini Voldsen out, they need his scoring punch. Service is handled there with ease. To Vasquez. It's a foul from Palmer.
See what, Hugo Okolie has been a menace dropping back in, applying the pressure in this midfield. He is covering a lot of ground here in the second half. Not saying that that wasn't put forth in the opening 45 minutes, but starting to find another gear here, help his team out. Not as many opportunities for him in the final third, willing to track back and help out.
Elsewhere tonight, get to that in a moment. Cuevas bouncing out for a corner. Efrain Alvarez got his first MLS goal in Portland. And Christian Pavone scored for Galaxy as well, so they're up 2-0 away to Portland. Timbers 2 actually played at home earlier today at noon kickoff Pacific time and lost to Sacramento 2-1. Service here with a chance to change the result. Goal for LA would leave them in second going into the second meeting on the weekend between these two sides, both here in Irvine. Alvarado over to Saldana. Now a chance to get service through. Goodness me, Okolie's running like it's the 5th minute. He and Coleman both gotten after things a little bit over the last 10 minutes. Think things could get a little spicy on Saturday?
We're getting there, aren't we?
I think there's going to be a pretty clear match report from this official about what to anticipate.
Just touch this and go. You don't need to knock it in. There you go. That's much smarter.
And now they knock it in. Bounces down. Vasquez tried. Now a seeking effort. Goes wide of the post. Not a bad look at all for Galaxy 2.
I was with them, Mike. I thought there was a deflection on this too, and just falls so nicely on the left foot. Quick little touch, you drift the other direction. It's Alvarado Jr., if I'm not mistaken, absolutely bottom corner. Oh. That was it right there, good look. Frederick Du beaten for sure.
Okolie. Back by Nathan Smith, who was on that Galaxy 2 team that Kurt Anolfo coached in 2016, signed a homegrown player deal, played 12 games in 2017, one that was fairly forgettable for LA Galaxy. And then went to Portland 2 for a couple of years before sprouting back up here in LA for Orange County now. Challenge in there. Somehow Alvarado able to get it forward. Now the ball played ahead. Offside flag is up on Williams. Looking for his 7th goal. It would match his total from last year. Pinballing around, foul Ugo.
Just on this build-up just before, Mike. Look at all the space in the middle. Great work by Alvarado Jr. Hold your run, Augustine Williams. Oh, he's onside. He's well onside. Oh, that's unfortunate for Los Dos. Fantastic work in the middle of the park by Alejandro Alvarado Jr. These youngsters, they got some fight left in them.
Oh, this sneaks through. Settled by Okoli. Leaves it forward. Could this be the dagger for Orange County? It's not. That left a lot to be desired. Chandler Hoffman still looking to get closer to 100%. It's very rare coming off an ACL injury that 4 games in, you feel remotely close to truly yourself.
Also seemed like he was just caught in between decisions of what he wanted to do. First touch, not exactly advancing himself enough to get close to the goal. And, you know, Okoli was stuck behind a player, still had him as an option. And you had Kevin Coleman on the back post as well.
Galaxy foul. Cami Palmer finally back up. That was a late challenge that got a piece of him. That's the kind of gear you look for over at Orange County Soccer.com/shop. You can rep your county and get your gear today. New OCSC merchandise now available online and in store at our new merchandise retail partners, Soccer Garage in Orange County.
It's pretty fresh top, Braden Sportin. Look at the middle, though, Mike. Nobody's in the middle of the field for Los Dos. And quick counters on if they get a turnover here.
Now Galaxy 2 running downhill. A blast. Oh, man. Perez was looking to really thrust the knife in. 90th minute stunner, that could have been.
And one you're not going to see is the little shove that comes from Cami Palmer. doesn't go down. But check out this battle. So you lose there, and as he track back, watch this. Hey, how are you? It's the tiny little touch that throws the balance off. You just hear the footsteps, knocks it up over the bar.
4 additional minutes of Easy Fleet GPS. Stoppage time. Win high upfield here by Orange County. Jalen Neal sends it away. They feel like they have some great young center backs, Neal among them. Really have a future in the organization. Quinn gets into it, and now verbally getting into it as well.
It just looked like there was an extra effort put forth by Jorge Hernandez after he goes to ground. Little outstretched boot. Ibrahim Romero gives himself an opportunity, like play quick, love it. Bodies in the box.
Numbers forward. I believe this should be a corner. Indeed it is.
Get on this though, Mike. You got to speed up the walk here. Everybody kind of meandering around the park right now. A lot of intent for sure, but got to pick up the pace. Only that 4 minutes of extra time. The talented Cuevas stands over, right-footed. This will be an in-swinger. And without the luxury of all the height that Orange County possesses, and defensively will bring them all back. I wonder if you can find some sort of little redirect in rotation in or around that elbow on the 6.
Cuevas. Saldana knows there's space out here to try this again. Cuevas back. Hernandez. Dew certainly would have had that covered. What to make out of it? Cuevas again. Sturdy defense from Orange County in the back. Saldana plays the point again. 2 more minutes here. Floated forward, and this struck on a line. Is that a handball? Referee says no, and that's hit wide by Ontiveros. Is the hand to the body, and is that enough? I can tell you that there were players from San Diego in their most recent game who felt like it was absolutely a handball, almost at the death, that they were denied, where they could have gotten a penalty against Orange County, and perhaps it's happened again.
Well, this most definitely came off the hand. The question is, Mike, as you mentioned, what is the positioning in relation to the body? Doesn't matter now. Look, you got 60 seconds, that's behind you.
Offside flag here.
Let's go back. Watch this come back across. Great taken. I'll tell you what, that looks really close to the torso. I'm not necessarily sure I have a problem with that.
That offside whistle took a lot of time off the clock here, another 30, 40 seconds. These two teams came in tied in Group B. Orange County can pull ahead with another match coming up on Saturday. Okoli surrounded, goal kick. Last chance saloon here for LA Galaxy 2. In a busy night in Group B for the 4 teams beneath Phoenix. Sent into the touchline. Alston. And there's the full-time whistle. Galaxy 2 score in 80 seconds. Okoli grabs 2 goals in the first half, and it's Orange County over LA Galaxy 2 in the first of a pair of meetings over 4 days that could decide the fate of Group B.
Heck of a shift put in by that man right there, Ugo Okoli. And Orange County SC, your man of the match, is brought to you by Destination Irvine, the center of Orange County. And their number 9 up top delivered a brace. 25th minute, 38th minute. How good was he defensively as well? Chasing all over till the death of this game. They'll squeak out of here. The better team for sure, but it was a tight one at the end.
Tonight's save of the match is brought to you by Shoreco, engaged healthcare and technology.
That's the only one? I mean, he had a couple, to be fair. This is the one coughing off of Crisostomo that we kind of tucked our head and said, wow, I mean, how this didn't up in the back of the net. That's why. Right place, right time. Fantastic save. And a beyond valuable 3 points for Orange County.
Yeah, no question. They'll do this all again, believe it or not, in 4 days. Orange County now 3 points clear in second place in Group B. That puts them in playoff position with 7 to go. Orange County 2, Galaxy 2, 1. Pro Sport postgame after this.
Coronavirus is the opponent no team prepared for this season. As COVID-19 spreads around the world, the possibility of athletes playing in empty stadiums like these is growing.
With SDCCU mobile banking, you can manage, deposit, pay. It's like having a branch at your fingertips 24/7. Check balances, view account history, deposit checks, pay bills, and more. All from the convenience of your smartphone, at home or on the go. San Diego County Credit Union. It's not big bank banking, it's better.
I don't look good, Devin. You look fantastic, however.
I mean, maybe a little Botox in the upper corner. What's going on there?
It's 2-1 Orange County over LA Galaxy 2. Pro Sport postgame. President Obama continues to look fantastic beneath us. Hogue full-time highlights. We begin in the second minute of play, and why not? Great goal.
This team is all about levels. 3 of them, they get into the final third. As you said, 80 seconds in, Mike? Doesn't matter. Second minute, back of the net, Jonathan Perez. Great ball by Gutierrez. Response took a bit of time, but there was plenty of passion and fight from this Orange County team tonight. 25th minute, that's the first one. Let's go. Run it back in the 38th. Okoli again, but watch this ball back across. Great rotation on the back line. Orozco just drifts to the far post, puts it back into the danger area, lets their number 9 go get it. He tucks it away for the second one of the night.
Okoli's brace is the difference maker, and then in the third minute of stoppage time, penalty, handball, question?
Jalen Neal, I mean, he definitely has a crack here. The right foot picks it apart. It's headed towards goal. That arm is so close to the body. This is a much better look. I tell you, Mike, it's hard. It's really, really hard. Regardless, they don't call it. 3 points to the home squad.
Full-time stats are brought to you by Pro Sport. Any of this surprise you?
No. Fantastic game. This was an awesome battle. I mean, you look at Los Dos, who, they really set the tempo early. They struggled to get back into it. Right around the 70th minute mark, I was chatting back and forth with the producers. I said, there's another goal coming. It didn't come that way. I can't wait to watch them run this back on the weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be quite a good time. Standings are brought to you by Chick-fil-A, Woodbury Town Center. These are live. and they reflect that San Diego is currently up around the 70th minute. Colin Martin scored against Las Vegas, which would put them now in a tie with LA Galaxy 2.
Give it time. And, you know, they've also got 2 games in hand as well. I mean, just for Los Dos, they've got belief that they can get through games. San Diego doesn't share the same sentiments yet. You know, they haven't really had the comeback. They don't necessarily have that fight. Not saying it's not there. We just haven't seen it yet.
And all of a sudden, Orange County has the points in the games played, where if they win Saturday,
Watch out.
They're ahead of Phoenix and first in the group. Orange County, LA Galaxy 2 coming up Saturday, September 5th, 7 p.m. Tune in, ESPN Plus or locally in Orange County on Cox Your-View. For our entire Vista WorldLink team, led by producer Eric Valero, director Jonathan Telcher, Manny Simone, Steffi Aguilera, and our great team, Devin Kerr alongside Mike Watt saying thanks for watching and good night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League